As you can see, joining me right now is none other than the host of the smash hit success Spanish podcast, Alta Red. He's pouring up a drink right now in hell. You can see the devil horns. Why is he pouring up, you ask? Well, because, in that nice Justin mug, beautiful, he's pouring up because we are celebrating something very special. We are celebrating his divorce. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
What's on that bitch, motherfuckers?
That's right. Now, I mean, usually this is a very somber time. People are getting divorced. Love is getting broken up. But you're celebrating this. Please explain to us why this is a celebration.
Well, I've been celebrating because there was no love in that marriage. We were together for 9 years, married only for one. And as you can see, I'm Satan. So that was a bit difficult to even get married. But we were married under the law of man. But even that was loveless. I did that for the health insurance.
Oh, really? Just coming right out for it.
But I mean, I'm celebrating my freedom.
Oh, wait. Before you say
regard.
that, remember when you talking about the health insurance? You married for the health insurance, but then.
Oh, yeah. The worst part of it was, a few months later, well, really like a year later, I only had a year to go from there. But a year later, I found out that after 5 years at my job pays for my health insurance. So
you would have qualified anyway.
Yeah, I have health insurance now just by myself. My job just pays for it.
All you had to do was stick it out for another couple of months.
Yep. And,
so continue what you're saying if you could even remember. I'm trying to ruin your train of thought.
Oh, no, you're fine. No, it's just that. I mean, I am celebrating that part of my freedom, but, and I haven't been too clear with you about this part, but I mean, definitely we are postponing it, the big party we were doing and everything. I'm just not much in a celebrating mood because despite her being a violent person and the worst mother that I can ever think of, it's a women's state, I guess, is what they keep telling me. She got most of the custody. I only see my kids every other weekend.
Whoa, what?
I only see them for a little bit on Wednesdays and every other weekend. Now in the summertime, we'll go back to have 50-50, but really, they really fucked me over on that,
What did you just say?
You heard, man. That fucking judge.
She got most of the custody of the kids?
Let's talk about it.
Oh, my God. Where was the...
Now you know you're retarded.
That's crazy. After we got to get into exactly what happened here. We're going to tease exactly, because there's a big moment, a big blow-up explosion happened during this marriage. But let's rewind if you don't mind, okay? So you said you were together for 9 years, right?
That's right.
I'm assuming it wasn't all bad, right? In the beginning, I'm sure there was some fun times.
In the very, very beginning. That's what I don't understand why. And people ask me now all the time, like, why'd you stick around? How'd you do it? And I really don't know how. It's
well, answer me this.
It was a few months of good, and then it started going downhill really fast. So
perfect segue, because I was literally going to ask, when did it start going downhill?
It was before within that first year of us being boyfriend and girlfriend. Even it just
Holy cow.
She was just real touchy, getting real mad about the smallest little thing, and
wow.
The big thing to remember there. She ever since that very beginning, she would always start saying she was anytime she get mad, she would say, and she would send me screenshots and shit where she was talking to her ex-boyfriend again.
Oh wow,
so
rubbing it right in your face, huh?
So if that's how we're gonna do it, that's how we're gonna do it. And let's just face it. Also, I mean, neither of us were really ever 100% faithful to each other. She would always throw shit in my face. Oh, well, I saw this and this on your phone. You're talking to this bitch and that bitch. It's like, well, it's kind of guilt-free when you started it and you continue to do so. So
wow.
So that was the kind of relationship we had from the very beginning, and
that lasted
moved way too quick. I mean, within the year, we, after that first year of being boyfriend and girlfriend, a few months after that, we decided to have a kid. So we moved in together when she was born. So
wow. So things never recovered. You're saying it was straight downhill till now. So then years go by, and then what was the catalyst for the divorce?
Well, the last that last year was, I mean, it was rough. It was every other, and I've told you a lot of this stuff too. It's it was a lot of kicking me out of the house over stupid shit or saying don't come home. It was me staying out because if I went home, I knew she was going to get violent, start throwing shit at me, start lunging at me, start trying to hit me. Well, but come November last year, so we're almost up to a year. My oldest daughter had RSV. She got fluid in her lungs, so we had to take her to the hospital. It was November 17th. I remember that. Um, because that's actually a year to date after my father had died. My father, who I hadn't spoke to in years either. So it was one of those things where we're just that November 17th just kind of sticks with me now. And so we're in the hospital a couple days, a couple nights. One night she starts, my ex-wife starts complaining, asking how I'm going to do to pay the bill. You're going to need to get another job. She starts worrying about that shit. She says, call downstairs and tell them to take her off of my insurance because you're going to pay this bill. I don't want anything to do with it.
Wow.
Stupid shit like that. Now I'm taking my daughter to the restroom because she couldn't go by herself and she had all the IVs in and stuff. So I'm helping her out with that when my ex-wife starts hitting me, starts beating on my back while I'm hunched over. My daughter's on the toilet yelling, asking her, pleading for her to stop, not to knock it off. She stops. I get my little girl off the toilet. She, get her back into the bed. Now, right as my ex-wife is leaving, she starts complaining again. She tells me to give her my glasses because she says she pays for them. I remind her that she paid for this pair because she broke the previous pair. That's when she lunges at me, slaps my face, slaps the glasses off and breaks them. And that's when my daughter's already in the bed. So she starts hitting that nurse button frantically. The nurse comes in. She sees what's going on. She asks what's going on. I explained to her she's behind the door. I said, that my wife is right behind the door. So just so you know, she's really angry. My ex-wife starts telling her that it's none of her business to leave her alone. The nurse says it is my business because look at your daughter's heart rate. She, this is nothing for her to be looking at. It's super up there. I'm going to have to ask you to leave. If you don't leave, I can get security to get you out. So she leaves. And, once we're there by ourselves, just my daughter and me, we're hugging each other. We're crying in the moment. And, every other time that there had been violence in front of her, because that was not the first time. Afterwards, I would ask my daughter, would you think we should divorce or separate? And she would always say no. And this time, while we're hugging, she said, I think you should divorce now. She said, I don't want her to hit you anymore.
How old is your daughter, for story's sake?
At that time, she was about to turn 7 years old.
Okay. All right. So that was the main time.
That's when I decided, okay, yeah, enough is enough. Enough is more than enough.
Right.
And that's when I started processing stuff. I got a restraining order on her so that I could take my daughters to my house here, to my mother's house, which is where I'm living right now. Once my oldest daughter got out of the hospital, which is what I did, so she wasn't able to even see them for 2 weeks. After those 2 weeks, they reevaluated. The restraining order remained for me, but not for my daughters. So that's when we started the 50-50 custody since like early December until recently.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So now the divorce is finalized. And
the divorce is finally finalized. Yeah.
The whole time, I'm telling you, you got it in the bag. This is easy money. Just Kobe, no problem, because she got violent with you, and there's police records, a police report about this, right? And the nurse was there, and they told their side and everything. So I'm thinking this is an easy bucket for you, and now you tell me that she got majority custody.
Yep, and that's how we all felt. Even my attorney, everybody on my side, everybody I've spoken to. My best friend, who is a counselor, even said, why did they not ask your daughter any questions? Have her tell her the side of the story. I told him, a judge said she's too young. He says that's bullshit because I can counsel kids as young as 3 years old as long as they can talk, and just everybody's just surprised at the results. Yeah. We all thought the worst case scenario was we were going to remain that 50-50 custody, but no, she got most of it. I mean, in the report itself, in the ruling that the judge made, he straight up said the domestic violence did not affect the girls. So that was not taken much into consideration.
How does he know if he didn't even ask?
No, that's what I'm saying. And
Dude.
so I'm the one that asked for the divorce. She ended up getting the divorce on grounds for adultery. So I am technically and legally an adulterer
What?
because they're saying I was talking to chicks online and stuff where it's the pot calling the kettle black. We've got all the same kind of shit against her.
And
For
it's
whatever reason, the
you
judge took
have
it all up
evidence of
against
her
me.
doing it too?
It's the same shit. Yep. She's talking about her
And they
boyfriend.
didn't use hers.
That whole time my daughter was in the hospital, I have those text messages and we presented those where instead of being at the hospital, she said, I'm going to go to Jackson with my friend so-and-so. And that was her so-called friend.
Well, her daughter got fluid in her lungs.
Yeah. And so she's not at the hospital. And now she's saying, oh, well, I was just saying that to make him jealous. I said, I don't give a fuck what she said it for. The point of the matter is she was not at the hospital with
You
us.
said it. That's the point, and you weren't there.
Exactly.
And the judge didn't add it.
Nope. He took all that and did not take any of that into consideration. And it was all on her side. And
Now
she
you know
had
you're
her,
retarded.
she had her mother and her brother-in-law testify against me. That he took that into consideration a lot too. And so, I got a lot of hate towards those people right now too. So,
And you said last time we spoke about this, you said there was like a weird vibe in the courtroom, and you were getting asked some strange questions, and you felt like you were getting prosecuted right there, right?
yes,
like
yes. And I still do. I mean, what now with that, where I have to, pay the child support's, I guess, an obvious one. But on top of that, they're tacking on a couple $1,000s that they say I owe her mother because she was watching my kids. And that whole time I said, first of all, she never charged me. That's her fucking grandmother. I didn't know she wanted to get paid. If she had told me she wanted to get paid, I would have taken them elsewhere to get watched.
You're going to give her retroactive babysitting pay?
Yep. A couple $1,000s on top of what I'm starting to do with
you got to start a GoFundMe for
child
you,
support.
Bro. That's
Fuck,
crazy.
I feel like it.
Wow.
And so fuck that old lady. Haven't seen her since because I know if I see her, I'm going to flip out on her. And, fuck her brother-in-law who deserted his 6-month-old baby until he was 5 years old, was out of the picture until then. Then he got up on the stand and decided to tell the judge, rate me as a father. I said, that motherfucker can't rate me as a father.
When he's not even
and
one.
We asked him about that. And my attorney asked him, have you been separated from your wife? And he lied on the stand, said he wasn't, said he's always been around.
Oath, huh?
Yep.
Wow.
So fuck that guy,
So a lot of the pot calling the kettle black in the situation.
Definitely.
And you get screwed over.
No.
And they were asking about your podcast, right?
Yep. They try to get that, asking what kind of stuff was going on there, asking if I made any money off of it. I said, I wish. But even if I did, it's not my primary form of income. So I don't know why any of that would have mattered. But they definitely use some of the stuff we've talked about on the show against. So, long live freedom of speech, I guess. Yeah, for sure.
What do you think?
There's at least one instant that they where the part that there was a story I told on the podcast, which was true, where I let myself into an online scam because I wanted to see what was going on, and they were trying to extort me over some sexual screenshots. I'm like, it was all planned out. It's all for the show. But they're saying, well, that's irresponsible behavior, your kids and this and that. And so
what about the
adult.
beatings that were given by the woman? That wasn't irresponsible
at all. None of that mattered. Yeah.
Beatings in front of the child that will probably cause trauma later on down the line.
Yeah.
How does your daughter feel about this?
At first I don't think at first it was really sinking into her. She's having a really hard time now, a few weeks in, now that she hasn't seen me for more than a couple days at a time.
Because it was 50-50 before, and now because it was 50-50 before.
Yeah, so she'd be with me for a whole week, and then she'd go over there for a whole week. And now she is only here, we see each other for a couple hours on Wednesdays, and then every other weekend is just, it's not even a whole weekend. It's 2 nights, Friday night, Saturday night. Then they go back on Sunday. So, my oldest is the one having a hard time. The youngest one is too. Like I said, where she's so young. She's known nothing more than this. This is normal, but she does miss me too. And she doesn't even know how to talk, but she knows how to dial a phone. She dials me up almost every night.
Wow.
And, I can feel that they miss me as much as I miss them. So
what a sad situation. I was going to ask if there was any sadness stemming from the divorce, if there was anything, but I guess this is the answer, huh?
That's it. Yeah. Relationship wise, nah, fuck it. I'm ready.
Now.
I've been ready to move on. My other friend asked me that too. Like, would you be already ready to move on? And I said yes, because there was no love in that marriage.
Been ready to move
it's
on
not like I just broke up. This is all old history. And now that's something else. I went on my friend's podcast to talk about this. We've talked about it on my show. This probably won't be the last podcast that I talk about it on. And I have had people say, like, why are you like going so public and talking about it? You know why? Because I'm trying to leave a record for my daughters, for them to see my side of the story. Because it's like they can go back and read the court records. They can see all this evidence and stuff. It's not the same as hearing it from my side of the story in my words, and just the way I'm saying it. So hopefully someday, a couple years down the line, they can listen to this series of podcasts where I talk about what exactly happened and why they're not here with me right now.
Right. And I mean, one of your daughters was there to see the whole thing transpire.
That's the thing. I mean, when you're going through a divorce, they make you take a little parenting class, and part of that is they say don't talk to your kids about what's going on. It's too much. I'm like, even if I don't want to talk about it, she's asking me questions because she was there front row seat. She saw the whole thing happen. She knows exactly what's going on.
What kind of parenting class?
Yeah, it's
who are they?
Fucking lame.
Are these like licensed parents? These are like top flight parents or something? What did they do to become parents?
Yeah, it's some guy from the court that, every time somebody goes. I remember when my parents got divorced, we were all, I think I was like 25 and I'm one of the younger ones. But then my cousin got divorced like a year later, and she told me she had to take a parenting class. And I was like, why is that? You're a bad parent or what? And she says, no, everybody has to take one. Anybody that gets divorced that has kids. And I said, well, my parents didn't have to do that.
A parenting class.
And that's when she was like, well, you guys were all in your 20s at least. So, but I guess it's just something you have to do if you have underage kids and you're getting a divorce. You have to take some.
So now you got to deal with this along with the with the copious amounts of money you have to spend.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. It's just like, I mean, I've been in trouble with the law before. Everything to do with any court system is just money, money, money. And the thing is, every other time I've been guilty of my crimes and I've accepted it and we've gone through with it, this time I feel like I'm guilty of something and I don't know. I don't even know what. What am I guilty of? And I'm the one getting punished.
Literally nothing.
Exactly.
For being the victim. Wow. Well, sorry to hear that, man. This is news to me because like you said, we didn't talk about the finalization. I thought it was in the bag. I thought it was an easy bucket. I'm sorry to hear that. I think I speak for the whole audience when I say that.
Yeah, we all did, and it's something I said on my show because people kept on my show. We kept hyping up. We were going to have a big divorce party. We had people lined up to do the catering, to do the drinks, to do the band, and I just don't feel like partying right now. And people kept asking, "When's the party? When's the party?" So I just straight up said, "You know what? I counted my chickens before they hatched, and here we are." So
wow.
Which I mean is, and that's why I say we're postponing it. I mean, I'm still happy we're divorced. I'm still happy to be out of it.
Right.
I just don't feel like partying now. But I'm thinking maybe in the spring we'll throw a little shit.
And it probably doesn't even feel like you're out of it because you're in it financially and
exactly. I still feel chained up to that shit. Exactly.
With your kids is being taken away, and it's like, how crazy is that they reduced the time even further with your children? So when you were in the litigation, it was 50-50, and now they couldn't even keep it like that?
Nope. And that's what I'm saying. That's what we thought worst case scenario was. Worst case scenario actually was my attorney said they might do 50-50, but where you don't live in the same city as their school district, they might make it to where she'll have them more of the time during the school year, but you'll have them a lot more of the time during the summers, and they'll even it out to 50-50. So either way, that's not terrible. But now it's just, I don't know. It's just the worst.
Horrible. I know you were planning on taking them trick-or-treating this year. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, yep. And now I don't have them out. Have them this week, obviously, and it's during the week. So.
Damn. Sorry, man. Sorry.
Yeah,
Has this prohibited you, though, from getting out there and meeting new people?
No. I mean, that's the only worry there really is the finances right now.
Okay.
Not doing a whole lot.
You're gonna be like that,
especially.
You're gonna be like that. You're gonna be like that girl. Well, you're not gonna be like her. You're gonna be like the guy that took the girl to Cheesecake Factory. She got pissed off about it. Did you see that?
No, what was that?
This girl went viral because this guy brought her to Cheesecake Factory for the first date, and she was pissed about it. She's like, "I'm not getting out the car. I'm too good for Cheesecake Factory. Like I need to be at a 5-star establishment. Cheesecake Factory is a chain." So you're gonna be like this guy getting shamed. You're worried about being under finance for dates?
Yeah, I mean, and not so much that. I mean, you just the way I am. Before I know it, I'm already spending. Not so much for clout like that.
Yeah.
Because I like Cheesecake Factory. I think that's fancy as
I
hell.
think
I've
the
only been to
Cheesecake Factory
Cheesecake Factory once. Have you
sucks.
ever been to Cheesecake Factory?
I think it sucks. Remember, we talked about on the show. I've been there twice. First time
Oh
I was
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
kid. I remember I didn't like it that much, and then when I went with Crow, I definitely didn't like it that time. That was no. You don't get what you pay for at the Cheesecake Factory, in my opinion. So
I've only been there once, and it was okay. I mean, it was I liked it just because of the fancy vibe, but yeah, it was a little
it ain't
overpriced. I
even
got a big
fancy.
lamb chop, but
Oh,
I
that
can't
probably
remember
cost
how
you a
much I
grip.
spent. Yeah, it was pretty expensive. And I'm talking something like 10 years ago. We were at a
Oh, it's
company
probably
meeting at the
way
company I
worse.
worked for, and we went to Cheesecake Factory for lunch.
I don't blame the girl for not wanting to go to Cheesecake Factory, but not because it's not bougie enough, just because it sucks.
Just because it's
Yeah, you're actually paying for more than you get. Like he's actually
Yeah.
spending money at the Cheesecake Factory. He probably should go somewhere else to get your money's worth.
Yeah,
So
I'd
you're out and about.
spend $20 more and get to something a lot better, probably.
Yeah. You go to like a food cart and get something better and more.
No, for
Little
sure.
Spanish
You know what I
restaurant.
like a lot is Applebee's.
What?
Fuck yeah,
Oh, we're
Applebee's
not
is
lining
shit.
up right now. You and I are not lining up taste wise. What about Texas Roadhouse? That's the best.
Oh, you were talking about that before. Yeah, I love Texas
That's
Roadhouse.
okay. So we could agree there. We could agree.
Those fucking you need a bunch of peanuts before you eat your steak.
Yeah, get a nice bloody steak. How you do your steak?
Medium rare. I don't get it too bloody.
There you go. That's good. That's good. So you are out and about. Have you been dating? You seeing anybody? What's going on over there?
I don't know what to say to that. I was talking to this chick a while back, a couple of months ago. It was a whole hubbaloo. How do you say it? Hullabaloo on the show.
Yeah.
It was a whole. That's the thing about having a podcast is everything you do, whether it's good or bad, you can end up talking about it on your show.
Right.
And so there's one episode where I'm talking about how I'm talking to this girl and it's great and it's all fun and games and shit. And then a few episodes later, I'm telling the story about how she really played me for a dumbass.
How did that happen? What happened there? See, I didn't know because it's in Spanish. You got to drop an English podcast because I don't know what's going on over there.
Well, the English version is this. She was getting, the reason I even started talking to her was because she posted on her social media that she's getting a divorce. And people she had those anonymous questions on her Instagram and people kept asking her like about her divorce.
Yeah, so
I straight up sent her a message because I talked to her a little bit because she follows me from my show. And so I sent her a message in English that was like, because she's significantly younger. She's like in her 20s, early 20s. And I sent her a message that was like, hey, what would you do if what would you think about I said it a weird way. I said how would you feel about a homeboy in his mid-30s hollering at you? And then her response to that was like, hey, it's cool, I'm down to meet new people. So I immediately start inboxing her, DMing her, and we get to talking, and I finally tell her, I was like, I'm the one that sent that question. She said, really? She's like, I would have never guessed that was you, because you mostly speak Spanish on the Instagram because she knew me from the show. And I said, yeah. And even when I speak English, I don't say things like holler at you. I was like, that was me disguising myself with that the way I asked that. In case you said, fuck 30, mid-30s is too old.
Right.
But we were talking for a few months and yeah, she's getting a divorce. And then, somewhere along the line, she's like, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm actually still living with my husband, but we're separate, we're like, I sleep in my own room and all this shit. Which I was like, well, that's kind of sucks. But, I kind of believed it because it'd be midnight, and she'd be sending me pictures and shit. So,
oh, you're getting the pics.
What's that?
You're getting pics. But you were getting pics.
Yeah. Nothing too wild, quite honestly. Wild enough for me to think, yeah, she's not sleeping right next to her husband, at least. You know what I
mean? All right. Yeah, you didn't see his foot in the picture or nothing like that? You didn't see his hand?
Nothing like that. Yeah. You didn't hear him snoring in any of the videos. Nothing like that.
All right. So it sounds like it started good.
So I'm like, all right, it's fine. I can live with that. They'll eventually part ways. It's a financial thing. She needs to get her shit together before she can move out, whatever.
Right.
That was her thing. She's like, well, I don't want to go back to my mom's house, etc. So when time goes by, my homies from a band here, local band here that helps me out a lot on the podcast, they're Blanco Perfecto. They're out of here in Idaho Falls. Great band. They asked me, they've done a bunch of favors for me on the show, playing live shows and stuff. So they asked me like, hey, can you come to this show, to this wedding? Our drummer's getting married. We're playing the wedding. Would you be able to come and like record the audio so we get like real high quality audio of the event? And I said, yeah, for sure, man. And so I show up to the place. I don't really know a whole lot of people there. and I set up shop. I plug into their audio system with my computer and stuff, and I'm kind of behind the speaker, so I'm kind of hidden away. So, show starts, things get going. I'm not planning on doing any drinking this night, because I'm working. And but I see the girl I'm talking to. She's dancing with the girlfriend of hers, and I'm like, hell yeah.
She
So
just
I
happens
send her
to
a
be
message.
there.
I'm like, what's that?
She just happens to be there.
Yeah, and I'm like, hey, so I send her a message. I'm like, hey, we're at the same function, we're at the same wedding, isn't that great? And she's not answering. I'm like, okay, whatever, and so I'm still like, I'm trying to get the audio right and trying to make sure everything's recording fine before I step away from the thing. I look up the next song. She's not dancing with her girlfriend anymore. She's dancing with her husband, like super close, super happy. They look great.
An intimate
And
dance,
so,
she's saying.
yeah. So I'm like, fuck. And so there's a big pile of beer right there. I started drinking those, and turns out they were one of my friends from the band. I asked him later, on the show, I was like, whose beer was those? He's like, those were mine. He's like, by the time I got up the stage, there was like none left. I was like, yeah, that was me drinking. I was like, I just started drinking. I just felt like fucking drinking. And then there was tequila involved afterwards. I mean, got super fucked up. I
bet.
Towards the end of the show, I get up on stage with these guys, and I'm playing the fucking bongos with them, and I'm getting on the mic and shouting people out and singing and just making a fucking spectacle of myself.
Right.
Now, as soon as she leaves with her husband, a few minutes later, I'm still there, and that's when she finally replies to my message, and she's like, "Hey," she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I just saw this text. I didn't even see you at the wedding." I'm like,
and you were on stage.
Fuck? Yeah, I'm like, how the fuck did you not see me? I was on stage making an ass of myself.
Oh, hell no. You ain't see me on stage shouting people out?
Yeah.
Wow. Because she was too busy looking into her husband's eyes.
Exactly.
She wasn't having any relations with anymore.
Why had to play with me like that? I mean, fuck, you should have just told me straight from the get-go. Like, I want to fucking cheat on my husband. I'd have fucked you. I want to fuck it.
Right. Be real.
But, you just got to be honest. And, but we just kind of kept talking after that until the episode of the podcast came out where I tell this exact same story.
Right.
She listens to it a few days in, and she sends me a message like, "Oh, fuck you talking about me on your show." I was like, I never said your name. I don't know. I don't even know that was about you, quite honestly.
Wow.
And of course, she blocked me on everything after that. She stopped following me. But TikTok almost every day sends me a notification that she was looking at my profile.
Oh, wow.
Still following me, bitch.
Oh, TikTok. Yeah, they do that. They be like, oh, this person's watching you. This person is looking at your thing. She probably don't know that. She don't know that. That's
I don't think she does. She doesn't do a lot of posting, so she doesn't realize that, I guess.
Yeah, she got no idea her spot's been blown up.
Yeah. Which is great.
Wow. What an entry back into the dating pool.
It was a bit of a heartbreak, but we have podcasts, so we can go and talk about it.
Exactly.
It's better than therapy.
Shout out to TikTok for blowing her spot up. And any other interesting situations going on since you've been divorced with in the dating scene, or how's it been going? Are you taking it easy?
Now right now I'm talking to someone, but I'm supposed to not get my hopes up, so I'm trying not to. But
you're supposed to. Why? That's what they said.
That's what everybody says.
Oh, okay. I thought she told you that. I'm like, whoa, that's
that's what everybody says about everything is you don't get your hopes up. But the thing about me is I get my hopes up all the time.
Yeah, you never know the next wedding you go to. You never know.
Yeah.
She might be there with her husband.
Yeah,
insane. So again, we're sorry to hear about all the trouble going on, man. It really sucks. It's horrible. But let's take your mind off of your chaos and let's talk about the world's chaos. How does that sound?
Yeah.
We love to talk about
when life feels like it's fucked up, you got to look at the world and realize
look
the whole
at other
world's
people and go,
up.
hey, you're more fucked up than me. L-O-freaking-L. So I saw this TikTok, as I do. I see a lot of TikToks.
Yeah.
I get swept up in the tsunami of TikToks. And this one came across me and I go, I'm like, this is odd, and I have certain thoughts about it, right? But I say, you know what? I'm a judgmental person. I can be a mean person. Let me not say anything about this. Let me just let it go. Then an article comes across my pretty little eyes the other day, and it says something to the effect of this influencer. Let me see if I can find the actual headline. Do I have it? Here we go. Self-absorbed TikToker trauma dumps on Starbucks employee. expecting praise but gets roasted in the comments. Let's take a look at this TikTok and we can say our thoughts about it, okay?
Actually like to pay for the person behind me. Today is National Day of Remembrance for homicide victims, and my husband was brutally killed. So I just wanted to give some love today, and I hope that, you know, if anybody that you lost, and I feel like there is somebody, she's watching you. She's watching you all the time, and she loves you. So this is for the people behind me. I know. I actually record these things. Can you say hi to people? This is Trinity. We need more kindness.
The music, I mean,
Wow.
as they said, the trauma dumping. Yeah, my first thought was this is straight up virtue signaling for one, doing the whole, you know, I'm going to pay for the next person.
I hate
And
that
then just a straight, listen, it sucks that her husband was murdered. Well, let's not get that twisted. That's horrible,
Yeah.
right? But I mean, do we need this? Is this necessary at all? You're going to add the sad music. It looks like a humongous attention grab. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. No, I mean, it's like you said, it is horrible, but what is she accomplishing by this?
Oh, literally making everybody laugh at her expense. Like, that's not what we should be doing about this, but you're making it that way. You know,
Yeah.
I could see you doing this in a little bit of a classier way. If you want to be that guy that says, hey, you know, there's a lot of debate about these things. There's a lot of debate about people who go on TikTok and YouTube and they display their activism or they display their kind deeds. And some people are saying this is just straight up virtue signaling. Some people say, well, you know, you need to show these things if you want to influence people, right? And I think the truth lies in between those two with certain people. You know, you have that famous video that came out of these influencers. I don't know if they were famous at all, and they look like they're cleaning up the beach, but then they show somebody's actually filming them being filmed, and you can see that they're acting like they're struggling by cleaning up all this garbage. They make it appear as if they're struggling more, and then when they're done with their TikTok, they leave all the garbage. So it's like there's moments like that, and I think there's definitely people who go out there and they go, you know what, I want to make a positive influence on the world. I want to do something nice and show that nice things should be done. So I don't know if I fall either way. It depends on the situation. This situation, I'm like, relax, tone it down, way unnecessary. Like, you really, the hysterical crying, I'm going to say this right now, the word that came to my mind, and I saw this word in the comments, deranged. Am I wrong? You look mentally unstable.
Which makes all of us unstable. It makes us, it would make me worry if I was around her.
Right? Like the hysterical crying. You know, the poor Starbucks employees, like, they got to deal with enough. They got to deal with people putting 40 pumps of this and that and making, you know, making just heart attacks. And they're working hard, these people. And this is what they got to deal with.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Could you imagine being the person working the window when that happens? And like, what the fuck?
You want to flip the camera.
Like, how are you supposed to act? Like, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah. I don't want to be on your TikTok. Please don't flip the
like,
camera.
I'm just at work, man. Like,
oh my God. So, you know, the comments were not kind to this woman because, I mean, it was blatantly obvious this is a massive attention grab.
Yeah.
You could have done it in a classier way. You could have said, listen, I'm going to pay for the person behind me. It's National Murder Awareness Month, which October is every freaking month. And you could have just kept it cool. But this was out of pocket.
Jesus Christ.
You know what I mean? I'm just trying to get my frat paid.
So that was right now, October's murder month? Or what?
I don't know if it could be.
Murder awareness?
You know, we just talked about they hijacked October for everything.
Yeah, October's everything.
October is, you know, October is a weak bladder month. It's loose asshole month, stub toe month. Every month is October.
Erectile dysfunction month.
Exactly. Erectile dysfunction month. You know, what's up with November? We only got Thanksgiving. Can we move Erectile Dysfunction Awareness Month to right before Thanksgiving? Can we do that? Is that appropriate? Like,
and it makes sense because like you could complain about your erectile dysfunction, but you know you should just be You should just be thankful. You should be grateful that someone wants you to get your dick up.
Yeah, talk about it at the table in front of the family. See what everybody else.
There's a lot of people
that.
out here that we are perfectly capable of obtaining and maintaining an erection, and so far nobody wants it. So the fact that you, Mr. Soft Limp Dick, have people wanting a hard on from you, you know, just be grateful for that. And yeah, talk about it at the table. That'd be great.
But talk about it in November. It's Halloween.
In November.
And, you know, you're really dampening my mood, okay? Listen, I'll take Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We can have that. We'll take that. That's fine. That's been around forever. Yeah. All
that
the other
all
stuff,
months, quite honestly,
gotta go.
Yeah,
if you're not Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I'm not celebrating you till November, okay? I'm not aware of shit except some jack-o'-lanterns and breast cancer.
Do you do the No Nut November?
Absolutely not. No. Why would I do that? Why on earth would I do something like that? Oh, because I want to raise my testosterone? Like, no.
Is that what that's for? I think it's
like, I want to raise my T levels, and, you know, I think it's for mental, you know, it's like, oh, I don't want to watch porn and I want to be strong mentally, but I don't buy. I'm not into no fap or none of that stuff. If you feel like masturbation is hindering your life, cut down on masturbating. If you feel like masturbating is not hindering your life, keep masturbating. Is it that hard to, you know, really? Is it that hard to distinguish?
Do you have to have a month for it? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, if it's hurting you, cool it down. If it's not hurting you, keep it going. Is this, you know, I'm not good at math, but is this mathing to you?
No. I saw a video of a guy that put his wiener in his own butthole, like he went and fucked himself. Isn't that nuts?
Oh, I like how, what video did I say that, what video did I have that I didn't send you? It was the maggots in the vagina,
the
right?
maggots coming out of the dick and out of the vagina.
Yeah, I didn't send you that. Why did I get this?
You're right.
You
You're absolutely right. I need to find this.
Well, I
did eventually watch the maggot and the maggot.
How did you feel about that?
It was great, you know.
It was an awesome video.
Unfortunately, I watched it without what I wanted to get the whole setup here and get a reaction video for you, but I mean, it was good.
It was a great video because it's like MTV Cribs. You see when the vagina gets parted, you see the maggots welcoming you into it. It's like, hey, welcome to my new crib. There's 40 maggots come on in. This is the clitoris.
Let me show you the jacuzzi, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Let's show you the clitoris here. This is the clitoral hood. Check it out.
This is where we all kick it. This is where we all kick it on Friday nights. And,
Scarface is on the TV as normal.
Yeah, as normal.
Do you like Scarface, the movie?
I watched it once. Same thing happened as with Nightmare Before Christmas. I fell asleep through most of it. I don't know. Kind of boring to me.
Really? We're not going to get too deep into Scarface, but I love that movie. And I was arguing with Clay about how good of a movie it is, and he said it's not good of a movie at all. I started watching Scarface when I was like 8 years old, so maybe I just love it because I've watched it for so long.
Yeah, because I watched it probably when I was in my mid-20s. Now, the one that I like was Carlito's Way. That movie was pretty bomb.
I never saw that.
That was
one I've never seen.
I watched that, and I thought Scarface would be as good, and it was. And to me, it wasn't. Like I said, but I like gangster movies. I like Goodfellas. I like Bronx Tale. All those.
Yeah, I like those. Except Godfather. Godfather is super boring. Super duper boring. Super L. Thumbs down.
The Godfather. See, I've never seen The Godfather.
Oh, watch it. You'll fall right asleep. It's always on for Thanksgiving. Go watch it. So let's talk about this now. This is sad. This is a very sad story, and I can kind of feel this person's pain a little bit, like in a very minuscule way. So there is a 21-year-old woman from Pennsylvania. She was at least going to college in Pennsylvania. I don't know if that's where she resided or where she was born. But Sarah Katz has died because she went to Panera Bread and had their charged lemonade, which has 390 milligrams of caffeine. Now, Sarah had QT, which is a heart condition, I think it's called. I think it's called QT. And she ended up dying at her friend's birthday party because she had the charged lemonade prior to the event. She had it, and a couple hours later, she dropped dead. So now her family is rightfully suing Panera Bread. And you might say, why are they suing Panera Bread? It's probably very explicit that this is a highly caffeinated drink. It should only be consumed by psychopaths. Well, apparently it's not, because the way they make it seem, I haven't been to a Panera Bread in a long time because Panera Bread sucks. Okay,
yeah, what's good there? Yeah, nothing.
I had the grilled cheese one time, and the cheese was black. It didn't melt. It was like burnt. You know what I mean? It was like plastic burnt cheese. And I'm not opposed to that cheese all the time, but it was a spooky sight. I never seen anything like that. So apparently the way this worked was this charged lemonade, which I heard rumors about. I heard people say like, hey, if you want to basically do meth, go try this this charged lemonade. Apparently Sarah didn't get the memo because she tried it, and it is in the array of drinks that are caffeinated and like least caffeinated. So it was basically with all the other drinks. So she might not have known that's what she was about to drink, especially because she had that heart condition, and they said that she was so conscious and so aware of what she drank. And they say that people with that heart condition are able to handle certain amounts of caffeine, maybe a cup of coffee, because a cup of coffee is like 100, maybe 200.
It's really nothing. Yeah, nowadays
200.
it's nothing compared to everything else that's out there. Cup of coffee ain't shit.
Exactly. So she's able to handle that, but she wasn't able to, shoot meth into her body, which is what she essentially did here. Because as I said, it's 390
which is
milligrams.
a real drag.
Exactly. The Celsius Heat, right, which is an energy drink, and I saw a woman break down and cry over how caffeinated she was, is 300 milligrams. This is 390. So this may be the highest caffeinated thing anybody's ever seen.
You're gonna go get one? Is the question?
Absolutely not. I remember when I had those 2 rock stars and I almost died.
You're big on that caffeine shit though.
That was 500 milligrams of caffeine. I wanted to kill myself. I wanted to die. Shit. I have an interesting relationship with caffeine. Some years I can really go in, and some years I can't have it at all because it makes me panic and it makes me nervous. So I can only imagine the distress this woman was in, Like she probably was not aware of what she was about to do. And when that caffeine hit her, man, she was probably sweating, ready to vomit. She was probably
it was shit.
And then she just
must have been the worst.
Dies basically.
How long did it take? Like, what was the timeline there? She went and got it, and then went to her friend's house, her friend's birthday party.
Yeah, it didn't give an explicit timeline. It said a couple hours.
Yeah.
Very sad, man. Very sad. And I hope that there's some compensation, and I hope it's not a free lifetime supply of Panera Bread. I hope that's not what they give them here. That'd be insane. Can you imagine? I remember one time me and Dre went to Panera Bread, right? And I said it was like a lobster roll, and me and Dre went, and I said how bad it was. My mom was like, well, I'll message them and see like what they give me, because sometimes they'll give you stuff, and they'll give you your money back. So I was like, all right, you do it. Like, I'm not into doing that stuff. So she was like, oh, they messaged me back. They said they're sorry, and they gave you 2 coupons to Panera. I'm like, I don't like it there. Why would you give me money? Why would you give me coupons to go back? You guys already screwed me over.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of company solutions to everything, though. It's like, oh, I'll give you something free. It's like, well, I kind of want my money back. So go spend it elsewhere.
This is just a sad situation to see, man. 21 years old. They say she's really
smart.
Really is.
That is really young.
Yeah, and just the panic she must have been in before she died, man. Before she went into cardiac arrest. Hopefully the judge working this case isn't the same one that did yours. They might get nothing. Idiot. They might have to pay Panera Bread if this is your judge.
Yeah, they'll have to. They'll be sentenced to go eat at Panera Bread for the rest of their life.
Are you, I forgot, you do like Red Bulls, but you're not really big into the caffeine, right?
Not really. Red Bull's I like the way Red Bull tastes, so I drink a lot of Red Bull. And I drink coffee every morning, but not, it's not like my forte. Like I said, I like Starbucks. I give myself a treat every once in a while, but even then I'm kind of boring there. I just get a grande Americano, no nothing in it.
Last time you went to Starbucks, did you break down to the barista and tell him about your divorce, and did you cry when you ordered your drink?
Well, not yet, but that's because Divorce Awareness Month isn't until February.
I think it's this month too, though. I think you
everything's in October, right?
Yeah, I think you actually have it mistaken. It's actually this month. Yeah.
I'll go tomorrow then.
Yeah, you should make a big TikTok about it.
That's a good idea. Now we're finally getting views on the TikTok.
You should go say, I just wanted to say I don't want to pay for anybody behind me because I don't have the money for that because I'm in the middle of a vicious divorce. But I do want to say, and then just start breaking down crying. I do want to say that.
And then once I post it, I'm going to get a notification that chick I was talking to for a few months saw that TikTok.
Right. And you're also going to get so many comments and support like, wow, you're really strong. You totally needed to post this. I love the sad music. This is really helpful. I really enjoy this. You know
what's funny about sad music? When I finally made the announcement of how terrible it went with my divorce on my show, I played I played our most upbeat, like our happiest beat behind it while I talked about it.
Like just so like Mr. Sunshine's playing in the background.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was
Mr.
something really,
Sun.
really uppity. I'm like, yeah, we don't want to get everyone depressed, but I do have to say this. So
Wow. Yeah, we thought that was gonna end a lot differently.
yeah.
So speaking
Everyone
of
did.
lawsuits, we love to talk about lawsuits. Hopefully that one goes well for the family, by the way, because that's such a heartbreaking situation.
You're right.
There's
and,
another one.
And Panera can afford it. I mean, just do the right thing, Panera.
Oh, there's people that love it. There's people that die by Panera Bread. People love it. I don't know how.
Yeah.
That's like,
Yeah, I've heard of that.
that's beyond me. Okay. Another establishment that people die for that is could be cult like is Chick-fil-A, and they have a lawsuit going on too, because a woman in Florida, I believe, was this in Florida? Let's see. I think we're gonna start our Florida news because we got some Florida news going on. Actually, we got a couple of things.
Florida's always well. Do you like Chick-fil-A?
I do like Chick-fil-A. Yeah, I do. So this is in Florida, correct? And a woman bit into her chicken nugget, and the chicken was black. Okay? She said once she bit into that chicken nugget, she got violently ill, super sick, and now she is suing Chick-fil-A for selling her a black chicken nugget. What do you think about that?
Well, it was only black on the inside, right?
I don't. That wasn't specified. I don't think.
If it was only black on the inside, then she has a point. But if she doesn't, but if it wasn't black on the inside, if it was black on the outside, then it's her own damn fault. You could have looked at it and said, "I'm not going to eat, this chunk of coal." But I don't know. I mean, it's the same thing as we were saying before with the Panera Bread. If you know it's going to fuck you up, then you probably shouldn't eat it. So if it was visibly black, then I hope she doesn't have a point. But if it was only black on the inside, then yeah, she has a point.
Yeah, that wasn't specified, I don't think. Let me see. Woman in house sues Chick-fil-A. It says nugget with black meat. So I'm assuming she bit into it and she saw the
breading was
black.
Probably normal looking, then the inside was all just
exactly.
black.
And she was like, and then she went blah, and just threw up all over the place. Got violently ill.
Mm-hmm.
Now check this out, right? This is what I think is interesting about this, because I think I have a theory about what this could be. Okay. Now there is a chicken called the Ayam Samani chicken. You ever heard of that chicken?
I have not. No.
That is a all black chicken. Okay.
Oh, look at that.
We're not just talking black feathers. We're talking black bones and black organs. Isn't that cool?
Is that a chicken that crossed with a crow?
It might be.
Is that one of crow's abominations?
It's one of Crow's descendants. The Ayam
shit.
Samani. I was looking at a video, and it's basically, it's just like it works with the pigmentation. They have like over pigmentation. Their cells release more pigment.
Kind of like an albino thing, but in reverse.
Exactly. What a smart guy. So exactly. So
It's
these
this
are very
big
sought
kind of
after.
booze I've been drinking. That's why I'm so quick.
What are you
on my
drinking
feet
on,
right
by
now.
the way? Tell us.
Some tequila here.
Wow.
You know what's funny? Actually, I didn't even plan this, but this bottle, you know where this bottle came from? From that wedding I was talking about.
Really?
The next morning, I just had a bottle of this.
My
It
man
was in
stole
my
the
jacket.
bottle. That's how you know that night
it
was not
full,
going
and I still
well.
haven't killed it.
My man stole the whole bottle.
I sold a couple bottles, but one wasn't booze. One was just like fucking
Is water?
that shit they sell for like kids to for New Year's,
What the hell is that?
It's like what do they call it? Like alcoholless champagne, alcohol-free champagne or some shit.
I've heard of alcohol.
It's the worst. I thought it was alcohol, and it wasn't. It was
And
the
you
worst.
didn't get it drunk at all?
Not at all.
So these chickens are actually pretty highly sought after, and they can go for like $2 to $10,000, depending on how black they are, depending on how pure of a breed they are. There's people that breed these. So my theory is that one of these chickens got thrown up in the mix, and she just got some of the meat, and then she's like, you know what? This is a come up. I'm gonna take a picture of this black schmeat right here. I'm gonna go to the hospital, and I'm gonna get paid. And you know what? Listen, if that's the case, I'm all for it. Okay, you got to get your money in this world, right? I'm not opposed to that.
Why not? Fuck corporate America.
Fuck them. I'm not opposed to it at
Especially
all.
Chick-fil-A. They're all, you know, sometimes I don't want to go to Chick-fil-A because because you know they're very anti-gay and stuff.
Right. That's right.
But sometimes I end up going to Chick-fil-A because my love for chicken like is greater than my love for cock sometimes.
Right, exactly.
So I end up going to the
I feel you on that. A lot of things are greater than my love for cock. Like almost everything is greater than my love for cock. Yeah. Almost everything is greater than my love for cock. It's also a National Love for Cock Awareness Month. Did you know that?
It is, yeah.
That's
so
right.
shout out to everybody
If
who
you
loves
love cock, then October, you know, really celebrate. Get out there and show your appreciation in every way you can. So I don't really think that's actually what happened, but that would be crazy if that's what did happen.
But if it was something like that,
right?
I mean, even if it wasn't something that was going to cause you physical damage like that, where it was going to make you sick for real, I can see how it would make you sick just by looking at it and it being black.
It would freak you out.
Yeah, it would freak you out. Like even if it didn't actually make me sick, it might still make me barf just by looking at it. It's like when Burger King made those like black burgers that was like everything was black.
Oh,
that shit was
yeah.
a little off-putting. Yeah,
I remember that, and everybody
off-putting.
was shitting green because
Yeah,
of the dye.
perfectly healthy, but except for the green shit part. But
yeah, Clay and
No,
I
I don't
had
know.
that. I had the green shit.
you did?
Yep, I had the green
Oh,
shit.
shit.
It was interesting. I looked and that's before I didn't read any article about it, so I was like, what the hell? I was like, what did I do? And then the article was like, it's just a dye. It's just that good old, because I think they had to use a green dye for it for some reason
To make it look black. Yeah.
Yeah,
that
I guess it's
makes
like a super green, and it's like mixed with some other stuff. So I hope this person gets the money regardless of what happened, because I don't know. I can't think of what else could it be besides a random black chicken got thrown up in there, one of these Ami Samani chickens.
Yeah.
What could
We'll
it
have
be?
to keep our we have to keep tabs on that story, but I think it might be that. Yeah.
Yes.
They just drew it. They just drew over it with a Sharpie.
Oh God. It's also Black Chicken Awareness Month, by the way.
It is.
So make sure you go out there and support your black chicken.
This is the month where Rosa Parks' chicken version got on the chicken bus and refused to sit in the chicken back of the chicken bus.
Coop.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Las Vegas Spear? This is like something I've been thinking about for a while. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it. I honestly don't even know what it is. So like, I've seen like memes about it. So can you pay for anything to go on there, like any other sign? Or what
I'm sure it's not anything, but yeah, you could pay for things to be. Because if you've never seen the Las Vegas Spear, ladies and gentlemen, it's like, would you equate it to the sphere in the middle of Epcot in Disney? It's like that.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It looks exactly like that, except shit comes up on it. It was like a giant screen or something.
And you can go in and they do concerts, and they did their first one with, I don't know who it was, some old band, I don't know, U2 or something like that.
Or something.
I wish that would have been good.
Kid Rock.
That would have been good. It was like U2 or like Bono or somebody like that. Somebody who like I don't really care about at all. So you can go in there and it's like a big immersive experience. It's like, you know, you can do a concert and there's doves flying over you and you're in the middle of heaven and stuff like that. Yeah, I would like to see crazy.
I'm also just very glad that you agree that Fred Durst is greater than Bono.
Oh, come on. Serious break stuff? When has Bono ever come up with anything close to break stuff? Really? It's an American classic. Listen, you didn't hear some fucker singing Bono in his old videos. He was singing Limp Bizkit. Okay?
Exactly.
I think the Sphere is so dumb. It just looks annoying to look at. If I had a hotel by the Sphere, I'd have my window closed at all times.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Like you would try to get the view away from that.
Yeah,
shit,
I wouldn't want the Sphere. Like people are like, oh, the Sphere room, that's an extra $2,000. I'd be like, no, give me away.
No, give me the one facing
the wall.
The
anything
landfill
else.
or whatever it is.
Anything else.
The hobos.
The desert. Anything else besides this. So it's crazy. But you could, I think it's like $50,000 a day to get something, which is appropriate because it's humongous in the middle of Las Vegas. So I mean, it's an appropriate price, something of that nature.
Yeah.
But
especially if you are willing to pay for some sort of advertisement, I mean, you know for sure it's going to be seen.
Right.
So.
Oh, definitely. You'd have to you have to be blind not to see it, or close your eyes. It's literally everywhere. It's so annoying. My favorite comment though is they can't wait for the first time that it gets hacked. And I'm like, yo, imagine somebody hacks and puts like an ISIS beheading video on it, and just everybody's looking, and just,
or
like a cartel video
on it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that shit. We were talking about that. Yeah, I was actually just recently on my show. I told the story. The worst online video I've ever seen. This chick was bare ass naked. She's on all fours, like she thinks she's about to get fucked doggy style, and instead she gets these fucking machetes to her neck, whack, 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 until her head falls off.
What?
Yeah, they could play that on the Sphere.
Definitely. You saw that?
Yeah, I saw that a while back. My friend sent me a link to it. You know, it was back in the Wild West days of the internet where shit like that was just like, here's the link, check
I
this
used to
out.
get.
Yeah.
I remember I saw one of a guy. It was two guys. One got their hair cut off with a chainsaw. One got their hair cut off with a knife. And I was like,
man.
I'd rather be the guy getting the head cut off with the chainsaw. It looked
for
way
sure.
quicker. It looked way quicker. Now I didn't want to see that. One of my friends was like, watch. That was the last video I saw like that. There was the remember the hammer one where the guy it's like two Russian guys or something, and they bring a guy to the woods and they beat him with a hammer. I've never seen it, but I know about it. Like everybody's seen it besides me.
Yeah, no, yeah. This was one of the last ones I saw too. Like we were in a showdown. Me and a friend of mine were like in a little showdown of sending each other the worst shit.
Oh,
ever.
that's insane.
Like it started to kind of light. Like I sent him like the Bud Dwyer blowing his brains out video, and like he sent me, I don't know, 2 Girls 1 Cup, which I masturbated to, and
as one does.
Who
hasn't?
Who hasn't? And
Also
then like
the
it
blue
just
waffle.
escalated from there. And this was one of the last ones where he sent me this, and I was like, I thought it was just porn. Like the chick's on all fours and she's kind of moaning, like getting ready to get digged down. And whack, 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 whack. They cut her head off. And it's like,
so she had no idea.
Yeah, poor chick.
Holy crap. Speaking of having no idea, check this out. This is another story in Florida.
Yep.
And I forgot to shout out that we're going to do some special Am I the Assholes in a little while, which is a Reddit thing, if you never heard about it, where people tell their story and they want to know if they are the asshole in the situation or is the other person, but with a twist. Because today we're going to be doing Am I the Asshole Halloween edition. So make sure you stay tuned to the end of the show. It's coming up after these next two stories. But I saw that in Florida, a bunch of fourth graders, it was a movie day at the school, and they wanted to watch Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. You know what that is?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That came out last year, huh?
Came out at the beginning of this year, I think.
Oh, was it? Yeah, I thought it was Halloween season last year. Yeah, I've never watched it.
I think it came out the beginning of this year, and I saw it. I actually really enjoyed it. But you would think that the teacher would laugh it off and be like, LOL, we're not watching that. You know, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, what is that? Apparently, they showed it to the kids. And
what grade was that?
4th grade. What age is that?
Like 10 years old.
So apparently some of the kids did not like it. They were like, "Yo, get this off! Like, stop!" And the teacher wouldn't stop it. So the parents were rightfully pissed off. They went to the school. Apparently, the principal was like dismissive about it. The school came out with a comment mad late, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna monitor the kids for trauma." Basically, it. What would you do? You're a parent of 2 children. What would you do in this situation?
Well, you know, I mean, quite honestly, my oldest daughter would probably enjoy it because she likes a lot of that horror stuff.
Right.
But I would be outraged. I'd be like, you're showing him this shit. Like, I'm okay with her seeing this stuff because she watches it with me. I know when to hit pause. I know when to skip stuff. The school.
The old, hey, cover your eyes. Something's coming up. You shouldn't be looking at this. You know?
I really don't think they should be showing the original Winnie the Pooh in school either, you know, because he gets his fat ass stuck in that hole and they draw a fucking moose on it. That shit doesn't seem quite kosher either. You know?
You don't like the fact that Winnie the Pooh is showing his ass.
Big old fucking booty there, and they draw the moose on it.
I was never a huge Winnie the Pooh kid. I think I had like a little phase. I like Tigger. Yeah. I didn't really like Pooh and the rest of the group. I like Eeyore and Tigger, but I wasn't. I didn't really go through a huge Winnie the Pooh phase. I liked the movie though, and if I was gonna say I've never really had a phase, but I always really liked that movie, the one where he gets his ass stuck in the hole, and like the original movie. That was a good movie. You do like that movie? That's your favorite part, right? Movie. When he gets
that's like Winnie the Pooh for me. Anything else is kind of hit or miss. There's like a live action one for a while when I was a kid.
When he gets his ass stuck in the hole and then his stepbrother comes to get him out?
Yeah, he's like, oh, stepbrother, yeah.
He gets stuck in the dryer, right?
Yeah. And it's like actually, it's not his stepbrother, it's just Rabbit. And Rabbit just starts
Stepbro, come get me out of the
doing what rabbits do there. And he draws a face on his ass because he doesn't really like anal, but he likes oral. God. Something like that.
Well, I'm glad they didn't show that to the 4th graders. They just showed blood.
I'd much rather have the blood and honey one.
Right. Which, if I was in that grade, 10 years old, I'd have been down with that too. But I feel bad for the kids that are not into that, and it's like they're just seeing people getting their head cut off. Not every kid is
on that level.
Yeah.
You know?
In 4th grade, I was already watching House of Thousand Corpses. I watched it when it came out as a kid.
No, really.
That was a gnarly movie, you know, especially for whatever age I was, 3rd or 4th grade. Insane. So I would have been with it, but Yeah, that's I don't even think they fired the guy. Because, with teachers, especially if they have tenure, it's like hard to get them out, right?
Yeah. Do you think he should have been fired though?
I don't know about fired, but definitely there should have been a nice lengthy suspension, especially if it's true that the kids told him to stop the movie and he didn't want to stop it. It's one thing to play along with it. It's
bit more disturbing,
Yeah, it's one thing to be like, I'm going to play it, which is, you should not have done it, okay? But
you can play it off like, I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a Winnie the Pooh movie.
Yeah.
Just act stupid at that point, but.
Yeah, like, there's, what's it? Christopher Robin's getting, like, whipped in his back. It's, like, a pretty gruesome, people getting their head cut off, people getting burned. It's, like, a wild movie. So once the kids told you to stop it, that should have been it for sure.
Yeah.
So I think a nice, lengthy, no-pay suspension is in order. What do you think?
Something like that,
Right?
yeah. Or if you really want your job, not really a suspension of pay, or like half of your pay, but you got to keep coming in and doing your job.
Oh, who knows what he's going to show after that? He might come in and show House of Thousand Corpses, and he'll just try to get back at everybody. He's coming in and not getting paid. He's going to show them all kind of crazy. He's going to start showing them cartel videos.
You said you never watched Terrifier, huh?
No, I never. I don't, because I don't like gore. Like I like.
See, I like gore. I'm more of the gore than the horror.
I don't like torture.
See, I like that. He puts that chick up on the fucking thing, like upside down, and just slices her in half, starting at her vagina. It's fucking nuts. I love it.
I'm good on. I like Michael Myers. He stalks people. The couple stabs.
My favorite horror trilogy is Human Centipede. I
hate those movies. I hate those movies.
Best.
Especially the second one. Oh my god! I remember I just fast forwarded to the end where the chick loses her baby and stuff.
Yeah, she's fucking steps on the baby when she's getting away. God, man.
No. I'm good on that. But as we make our way into the Am I the Assholes, I saw a very interesting TikTok and news article, which kind of sets up. It's kind of like the story of Am I the Asshole? Kind of. It kind of would be presented that way online if it went the other way. But there was a story in South Carolina of this family, and their neighbor's son comes over. He's like an older guy. He's probably like our age or maybe a little older. And he comes and says, "Hey, I would like to know if you mind taking down your Halloween decorations."
Oh, it's fucking lame.
Well, let's hear why. All right, we're getting ahead of yourself now. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Because his father has lung cancer, and he's saying this is kind of reminding him of his mortality and the situation that he's in. So what do you think the people did? You think they took it out, or you think they kept it up?
This day and age, they probably took it down.
They took it down. They had a coffin. They had like a skeleton, I think tombstones, and they ended up taking it down. And it was like another one of those TikToks where it was like sweet music playing, and they were like, kindness is free. My question to you is, your neighbor comes across the street, dad got stage 4 lung cancer. What do?
Slam the fucking door in his face.
Ah, come on, that's insane.
I've done it before.
Nice. This has happened to you?
Well, not the cancer part, but I've slammed the door in my neighbor's faces.
Over something like this, you mean?
They told me to turn my music down.
Oh God, you're one of those neighbors, huh?
Yeah. That was when I lived in the apartments when I was like 20 something.
Well, this is a different scenario. You have Halloween decorations. What are you gonna do? You would leave them up, obviously.
I would. I mean, it's kind of the free speech thing. It's like, you know what? I pay good money for my fucking property. I'm gonna put what the fuck ever.
I mean, but
the only thing I won't have up in my neighborhood is a fucking swastika. Anything short of that, have at it.
You got the old man across the street. Come on, have a little compassion. He's coming home from chemo. He's coming home from chemo, and now you got to see a coffin where he might be in. That's what he doesn't want to see. Instead
of coming over and complaining about it, he should be coming over seeing if I can give him a deal on it.
I do. Gritty Knows Best does not condone the thoughts of Roddy. It does not reflect the thoughts of Gritty Knows Best. Listen, what I would have done is I would have definitely taken the skeleton down. I would have took the coffin down, and then I would have replaced it with like a big black lung, like an animatronic lung,
a cigarette.
Yeah, and like smoke is coming out of the lung, and it's just like making obnoxious noise, like ah.
That's even worse. talking through your fucking trachea like.
You asked if I could take the skeletons down, but I need something to replace it. So what's scarier than reality?
Yeah, for real.
I would not do that. I would totally not do that. Okay, stop it.
What would you would just take the stuff down?
I don't know, man. I'd be like, listen, I don't know what you want me to tell you. I'm sorry this happened to you. I'm not taking this stuff down. I love Halloween. I get the situation you're in. Tell him to close his eyes. What do you want me to say?
Yeah.
I feel for you. But I don't know if I would want that.
If he has cancer, he should be proud of the people that he's being represented by in the Halloween community. Who else has cancer? Fucking the guy from Saw, Jigsaw. He has cancer.
That's true. So you
true
think
representative of the cancer community.
You think that he should embrace this, is what you're saying?
Yeah. I'd be like, I have cancer, so now I'm Jigsaw.
Yeah, you get a couple of Jigsaw traps on his lawn. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like trick or treaters are getting their legs caught in bear traps and shit.
I mean, I feel bad, but then it's also like, who are you to come up and ask me this? You know what I mean? I would never do that. I would never do that. I would never be like, oh, my grandma got leukemia. Can you please take down the skeletons? It's not that serious, right?
Yeah.
It's not like, I mean, is it that bad? No.
I mean, it's not really. Like I said, I mean, here in my town, a lot of people for some reason have Confederate flags up, and that kind of pisses me off. But I can't say shit about it because it's a free country, and as long as they're not putting it on my yard, I'm fine. Like I said, the only thing, if someone ended up putting up a swastika, then that's where I'm going to have a problem. Short of that, it's like, oh, well, keep your racist flag up. Like, I don't care. Which is insane. We're so far up north. I don't think even Idaho, I don't think was even a state during the Confederate War, during the Civil War. So it's like, why the hell do you guys have Confederate flags?
Like, where are you coming with this?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But that's besides the point. I just think we all pay property taxes. We all pay, our area that we are giving this tribute to the country for. We should be able to put up what the fuck ever we want. I mean, that's like me complaining about people and their Christmas decorations because I don't believe in Jesus.
Oh, exactly. I didn't even think of that. Exactly. I feel for you. I feel for you, man. I wouldn't want to be in the situation. I don't like that you're in the situation, but I'm not taking down my Halloween decorations. I don't have a sign on my lawn that says "Cancer is awesome." Okay, you know what I mean? Like I don't have a pro-cancer lawn here.
Yeah.
No,
but that does beg the question. Are you pro-cancer? I think kind of want to know.
I am not pro-cancer. I think we already established that I am for breast cancer awareness. I do not like cancer.
Oh, yeah.
So, I just don't like that they're all on the same month. Yeah. That's what I don't like.
Isn't it crazy how women like get implants and shit and they think we care about how big their titties are? It's like, you just want to suck in.
What I think is crazy, though, is how they pop in. They used to. I don't think they can now, but it's kind of scary how you can get implants and then they leak in your body.
Oh,
That's a crazy situation.
Yeah. Remember Medeja O'Hearn from WCW? She was one of Scott Steiner's freaks.
No, I don't remember her.
She was hot as hell, and she got her implants removed for that reason. She was getting really sick because they were leaking up.
Yeah, a lot of people get them like they leak and they don't know it for a while, right? And they get sick and stuff. Till
they start feeling like shit and they go to the doctor and the doctor can't figure it out and they finally figure it out. They're leaking.
But I saw that I guess they're coming out with some new tech where they're basically indestructible. Like they can't pop for anything. So good for you. Shout out to all the fake boobs out there.
Yeah, all boobs are good.
You're doing a great job.
Fake, real, little, big.
That's right.
Mosquito bites, itty bitty titty.
So maybe we are the assholes in this situation. If this was an Am I the Asshole
I think if we were to like post our Am I the Asshole, I think a lot of the times we would be.
We would be the asshole. But let's judge others now. Because we haven't done that the whole show. We haven't just judged others the whole show. So now let's judge some other people. Finally. All right, we got 4 Am I the Assholes, Halloween related. Let's get to it. Let's get going. This is the first one. And as I said, this is from Reddit for those that don't know. And this is people posting their stories, what they, what situation they're in. And we have to decide who's the asshole.
Within the past year, My girlfriend moved in with me into my home in an affluent neighborhood. For the past few years, the neighbors and I have seen a growing amount of people come to our neighborhood for Halloween. This has caused a lot of people to turn off for Halloween, which you'd think would get the crowd to lessen, but it keeps growing. I was openly annoyed with this leading up to Halloween, and my girlfriend would condemn it every time I brought it up because Halloween's all about sharing, saying it shouldn't matter whether the kids are from the neighborhood or not. She'd also point out that many of these children probably live in bad neighborhoods where it's not possible to trick or treat. Not surprisingly, this year at both entrances to the neighborhood, cars line the streets. Some with out-of-state plates. I live in a suburb of a city which is just over the state line. Am I the asshole for getting annoyed with parents who truck carloads full of kids to a neighborhood they don't live in?
Dude, everybody knows that that's what you're supposed to do on Halloween.
You don't trick or treat in this fucking neighborhood. You go to the good neighborhood.
Idiot! That's how you know, two things. That's how I know this person is like, just like a rich person. They have
Super
no
privileged from the
concept. Yeah,
beginning.
privilege. That's the perfect word. Because they said they live in an affluent neighborhood. I would never, even if I did move to an quote unquote affluent neighborhood, I would never describe it that way. It's such like a dick way to say I live in. I would just say I live in a nice neighborhood.
You might as well live in a rich neighborhood.
Yeah.
If you're gonna straight up say it, just say it. I used to live in the fucking hood. Now I live in a rich neighborhood.
But that's how I can tell they've like you said, they sound privileged, right?
Yes.
That's what Halloween's about. Everybody knows the wave is to go to the superior neighborhood that you live in. You meet up with your friends and you go, hey, we're gonna go over there to the nice area and get the better candy. What a dick, what a douche. That's how you know he's privileged, because they never had to do that. They never had to do that. I think that this person's definitely the asshole. No question.
They scored really good candy within their cul-de-sac.
Exactly.
And so they think everybody else can. So yeah, they are the asshole.
They never had the experience of getting regular candy and then going upscale a little bit, seeing the better decorations and getting the bigger candy. You know, and I didn't grow up in a bad neighborhood, but there's definitely, better neighborhoods to go to.
There's a difference. Yeah, you say you go from Tootsies to Snicker bars.
Yeah. Exactly. So this person's definitely the asshole. I mean, and the girlfriend's right. Halloween is about sharing. It's like Christmas.
It really is.
It is about sharing.
It really is.
I don't get it. Definitely not into the spirit. It only gets worse from here, by the way. If you think that that's bad, get ready for what I'm about to play. This one's like a 4-minute one, so get your little candy bags and relax, because this is about to get crazy.
I need some perspective here. This whole thing is so out of control. I, 28F, own my house, and my BF, 29M, moved in January. We had a ton of early money arguments and agreed that we would keep to a household budget. Also, he agreed to pay down his credit card debt. I have more flexibility in my personal spending than he does. Early after we moved in, my BF told me that as a kid, he always wanted to live in one of the houses that were totally decorated for trick-or-treat and handed out full-size candy. Here's where I messed up. I took this as a comment and not a plan. When the end of September came, we went to the Halloween store, and he was under the impression we had savings for this. I didn't know. We go over the monthly budget together, and it was never listed. When he found out that there was no Halloween savings, we had an argument. Afterwards, I talked to friends who all said he had talked about trick-or-treat extensively and how much it meant. I chalked this one up to a misunderstanding on my part, so I came up with $500 my money and went to him with an apology. He decided to buy one big piece, an animatronic clown, and some lights. It burned through the $500. Plus, he put a little on his own credit card. He wanted another big piece and was mad I wouldn't put it on my credit card. I asked if he wanted to put up handmade decorations or spider webs, but he said it would look cheap. A few weeks later, we had a fight over candy. He was still stuck on buying full-size bars. We easily get over 250 trick-or-treaters, and I said we just don't have that much money. So we got the bulk bags of good small bars. I also had these little coloring books for the allergy and diabetes kids. Jump forward to Halloween. Early kids show up, and he is letting them grab handfuls. I remind him we have a ton of trick-or-treaters coming, and he got really annoyed. I had ordered a pizza for us, so I get it and go inside for about 10 minutes. By the time I came back out, the trick-or-treat bowls were empty. He had been dumping a third of a bowl in each kid's bag and had given out all the coloring books to whatever kids came along. He told me that I'd have to go run out and buy more candy on my credit card. I said I wasn't going to do that, and it wasn't my fault. He just handed out 20 pounds of candy. He started yelling right there in front of the kids, and I told him to come inside. He responded that he wasn't stopping trick-or-treating even if there was no candy. I told him to have fun with the clown and went inside. He came in 15 minutes later. Then he demanded that I leave for the night so that he could clear his head. He argued it was fair because I had already eaten, and it was my fault that trick-or-treat was ruined. BC, I'm cheap. I handed the rest of the pizza at him and refused. He left and went to a friend's house, and I guess they spent the rest of the night drinking, handing out trick-or-treat candy, and texting me how awful and cheap I am.
What a little baby.
What a dumb fucking bitch. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean,
Jesus Christ.
It's just all wrong. He wants her to put the stuff on her card. He wants to give all the candy out in 5 minutes. He has zero self-control, zero responsibility.
From the very beginning, the fact that he suggested it but didn't make sure that it was like a budget thing.
Right.
I thought that's where it was going to end. I was like, oh, well, yeah. You know,
it just got
be a
worse.
little bit more clear. Be more clear with what you want. Jeez.
No, and then he's like, "Oh, everything's on you." So the finances are on you, and then when it goes wrong, she got to leave the crib, her own crib. My man ain't even pulling in no dough.
Jesus
what the hell?
Christ. So the lady's not the asshole. The dude is.
Oh,
for sure,
definitely.
but.
I mean, there's not even a question. That's just that one doesn't even need deliberation, except for maybe the judge that served for you would go be.
He'd probably say, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she would owe him
out
like
and got more candy.
Yeah, she would owe him
should've.
tons of candy and money and animatronics and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I mean, he just sounds like super immature. All right, that's basically it. And there was like so many other updates that I just went to the last update and they broke up, and she kept the clown and sold it for like $200.
That's good.
Yeah, they were gonna go to counseling, and I'm like, girl, you gotta cut this off.
But they didn't have kids or anything.
No. And I think, yeah, they weren't even dating that long. I don't even think.
Yeah, that's good.
Insane. Here's another insane one.
You keep a budget with someone you're just dating? That's fucking insane in its own.
I mean, I guess because they moved in together.
Yeah, I guess.
You know, they just share the household share the household expenses and things like that.
Expenditures, yeah.
Yeah. If you love Halloween so much, you figure it out.
Yeah.
Check this one out.
I, 32F, work as paramedic and work 10-hour shifts. We are short-staffed at the moment, and I am working the overtime that is given. My niece, 4F, and nephew, 5M, are all set and ready for going out on Halloween. My sister and I work different hours and will reach out to me if I am available. Halloween is coming up, and they are traveling Saturday for a funeral and will be returning Monday. They did ask me if I could watch them, and I told them that I was working a 10-hour shift Saturday. Sister and BIL think I work too much and don't spend a lot of time with niece and nephew. Niece and nephew will be staying with our parents. 3 coworkers called out for Sunday, and they filled 2 of the slots. I told them that I would take cover the shift for Sunday. My mother asks me if I could take them out on Halloween. I told them that I could not, as I had to work until midnight. She calls me and says that I will be ruining their first Halloween. I tried to explain that work is short-staffed and is a priority. My sister texted me a few times calling me a horrible aunt and to change my priorities to my niece and nephew. AITA. For not taking my niece and nephew out on Halloween?
Bro, my man said, get your priorities straight. She's out there saving lives as a paramedic.
The thing about Halloween is I love Halloween also, and I love celebrating it with my kids and stuff. But when it comes right down to it, it's not one of the major holidays. You don't get, holiday pay for it or anything.
That's right.
So as much as we love it, it's not top priority. A lot of times work comes first, other things come first.
And also, you're forgetting the fact that that's not her babies. Those are not her babies.
Yeah,
those
that's
are
the other thing. Yep.
Her nieces. Those are her nephews. Like, she is not obligated. She didn't spit them out. She don't pay the bills. So I'm like, where did this is like one of the worst things about families. When you got family that are just entitled and they just, they think like they deserve this, they deserve that, and they could just throw the kids on you whenever they want. It's the worst. Yeah. I'm sure you've seen it before. You don't need to shout any names out in your family, but I'm sure you've seen it or at least been there before.
Yeah.
Like, they got a funeral to go to. Well, it sounds like you guys got to figure out how to get your own kids on the street trick-or-treating, okay?
I think it's kind of cool to have a funeral on Halloween, too. You badass.
A funeral?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Ooh.
I don't see why not. A wedding, a funeral, bar mitzvah, whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's the perfect day. Yeah. I mean, whenever, I always take off for Halloween. No matter where I work, I always tell them, like, I'm taking off for Halloween.
Yeah, see, and that's the other thing. If Halloween's that important to you, you're going to take it off. You're going to do take the necessary steps to be available that day.
Well, they had a funeral, so it's like you have to set that up with whoever else. And if the kids miss a Halloween, it's not going to be the end of the world.
That's something else I was thinking about on the previous story, too, is like, okay, so there was a miscommunication on what we're spending for Halloween. There's always next year.
Exactly. Like, I love Halloween as much as the next guy. And I've had some shitty Halloweens.
Yeah.
There were better ones after that. I didn't, it wasn't the end of the world. Family is insane. That's why I be chilling on my own. I be chilling by myself. Nobody be seeing me.
That's right.
Last one.
I randomly decided to make sugar cookies with my kids because it's finally starting to feel like fall, and I wanted to get in the fall mood. I decided to post them on Instagram, making the cookies just because our family likes to watch them. Anyways, my brother called me asking why I didn't invite my niece and nephew over to make cookies with my kids if they live 15 min down the road. He stated that it wasn't fair that his kids weren't invited when they don't even live far. I told him it was all last minute, and he said that he would have invited me if they did something at their house. He tried to guilt trip me and tell me that his kids should be just as important to me as my own kids, and that I shouldn't be leaving them out, especially because they live so close to me. To me, it was just a simple activity that I decided to do with my kids, but to him, it was way more than that. A couple days before, they did a fun activity at home, and we didn't get invited, but I wasn't expecting to either. My mom says it's not hard to invite them over for stuff, which it's not, but sometimes I just want to do things alone with my kids. A couple of you asked about my brother's wife. She was in the background crying because she's sad that my niece and nephew's bond with me will be destroyed if I keep doing this.
Bro. Really? She cried? Their bond is going to be broken because they didn't make sugar cookies one time?
One time.
This is the worst. Like, bro. Really? And then the mother got to get involved? And they go, oh, don't you hate that? I don't know if you ever had that, like, where there's a person in the family and they try to mend the relationship that you're not really happy with right now. And like, well, come on, they're family, so you gotta stick around. And it's like, no, I don't. Speak for yourself. Okay.
It makes it a lot worse. Yeah. I mean, just let them come to terms by themselves, and they will probably, more than likely.
And let me tell you right now.
Push them, it's worse.
Let me tell you right now, to anybody listening out there that don't know this. This is one thing. This is one person you don't want to be. You do not want to be the person that said, why didn't I get invited to this and that? Do not be that person. You were not invited. Do not ask why you were not invited. Do not insert yourself post event because you're looking desperate. You're looking crazy. Am I wrong? You've seen those people.
Yeah,
hey, you guys did this.
You're not going to like the answer is the thing.
Yeah.
You ask why wasn't I invited, you're not going to like the answer.
You didn't come up in my mind. And if you did come up on my mind, I went, nah.
Okay, yeah.
Not feeling that. Not feeling that. Yeah. It's just like entitled. Is that the right word? Entitled family members? They're entitled to your time.
So, yeah. I think I'm going to be there for everything. Yeah. For every little moment.
Oh, I'm right down the road. So that sums it up. No, you're right down the road. Stay down the road. Stay down the road. She summed it up perfectly. I wanted to do something with my own kids.
Yeah. That's what a lot of times I think in a lot of these Am I the Asshole stories, Halloween or not, a lot of that comes up a lot. Like, oh, well, it was my kids, or, I wanted to be part of this, but it's their kids. It's like, yeah, man, I love my nieces like they were my kids. But fact of the matter is they're not, so.
Exactly. And that is a perfect place to end this. Roddy, why don't you shout out everything you got going on? You got your podcast. If you're a Spanish speaker, if you speak Spanish, you'll love it. Why don't you plug away?
All right. Well, let's go ahead and do a couple plugs. Since I am Satan today, just want to remind everybody that Satan was responsible for the electric guitar, for metal music, for punk rock music, and God was responsible for the plague, COVID-19, etc. They killed Jesus. So just remember that next time you're going to church. But also go ahead and check us out on Not the Red Pod on TikTok and Instagram, and follow Roddy TV on YouTube to check out all our new episodes there. We're about to start season 3. Also check out Roddy Radio, which is my new English language podcast, which just barely dropped.
Pause.
So check it out.
Pause. Let's stop right there. I forgot about this. So you finally are coming out with an English podcast. How did that come about?
Audio only. I don't want to deal with the video part of it. And we're on hiatus for Monterrey, so this is a perfect time to get ahead of it. We've got a couple episodes recorded already, of course. I haven't invited you yet because you're definitely the ace, ace up my sleeve. I know we're going to make it happen either way.
Definitely.
Look for Gritty on that shortly. We have one episode out now. An episode will come out on Thursday, next Thursday as well. We're working on that. All audio, like I said, it's super easy when it's just audio. So check it out, Roddy Radio on Spotify only right now. And but yeah, other than that, just check us out. Like, subscribe. Gritty knows best as always. I'm always really happy to be part of the team, man.
Thank you. And you definitely are part of the team. But let me ask you this before we go. Is your English podcast going to differ in content from your Spanish podcast? Will you be talking about the same things? What are the differences? What are the similarities? Like, are the people that listen to the Spanish, can they listen to the English one, or is it just going to be the same stuff? What do you got to say about
No, it's different. I mean, right now it's kind of the same way as it started out there. I have a bunch of one-on-ones. We haven't really had like a whole team. I don't know where I want to go with it. I think it's going to be a little bit more personal. I'm not pushing it as much as I do out there. Out there is my baby, but this one's just personal, just really for fun, really to get a lot of the conversations I've wanted to have out there. Not so much. Honestly, it's kind of selfish. It's going to be a lot about me, but of course, we have people on all the time. So
what podcasts are about. You got to talk about yourself.
The thing about Alta Red is red doesn't mean red, the color. It means, in Spanish, it means network. So it's a network of people. That's why I let people introduce the show, outrow the show. I've built a network there.
That's right.
And like I said, that's my baby. But audio only, fun conversations about all sorts of shit. Roddy Radio.
And you played the Jacko on the first episode.
Yeah,
I did. The story of the Jacko.
Yeah, which was he's my cousin's son, and he's a filmmaker, young filmmaker, and he's starting to get into horror filmmaking. So I was like, dude, you should make a film to this 1 minute epic, which is the Jacko.
Has he produced any horror films as of yet, or is he still working on them?
There's a couple of shorts that he's been releasing this month. He just released a 3rd out of 4th installment.
Send them right to my phone.
Yeah, I'll send that to you. They're shorts, but they're really, really good. I thought they were really nicely made. On the episode, we talked about how I hadn't noticed where he was filming it, but there's this part that's right outside my window here where the train goes by. I'm like, holy shit, they're filming right outside my house, which was really cool to me.
And like the other video, I never got these sent to my phone. Insane.
Yeah. I'll send that to you. Well, I don't know if I can find that other one anymore.
Well, forget that one. I don't even.
But I'll send you this stuff.
I don't even want to see the dick going into the ass. It was just the principle you didn't send it to me. I don't want to see it. I just wasn't invited. Like the Am I the Asshole? I just wanted to be invited.
Am I the asshole for not sending Gritty I think we should leave the audience with that. Am I the asshole for not sending Gritty a video of a guy putting his own dick in his asshole?
I think so, because I was you came at me for not sending you the maggot video.
Yeah.
And I sent you two. I sent you the maggot and the penis too, right?
Yeah, maggot in the penis and maggot in the vagina.
Right, and then you do not
classics.
You do not reciprocate once that is done, which is insane.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So everybody go listen to the new podcast. You got Alta Red, you got Roddy Radio. Absolutely beautiful. Let me give a shout out right now too at the end of this episode. Guess who I saw the other day on FaceTime? Take a guess.
Who's that?
Take a guess.
Sim.
I did not see him on FaceTime. I wish I did. That'd have been great. I would have loved to see his beautiful face and hear his beautiful voice. But I saw another beautiful face, two beautiful faces, and I heard two beautiful voices, and that was the voice of Stephanie and Aria, the baby. I saw them on FaceTime. And they're doing well.
You saw the baby.
Stephanie and the new baby, Dre and Stephanie's baby, is doing well. The couple is doing well. So I just wanted to shout them out at the end of the show because they just came to my mind, you know?
Hell yeah. Congrats to them, man. That's awesome.
Right. That's right. And you got your big check.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You won labor time, right? Like 13 hours?
Yeah.
12, 13 hours. You got a nice big check on there. What'd you spend it on? Anything good?
I spent it. It went towards some new headphones for the for Alta Red podcast. So next time you see some of these nicer headphones on the show with someone else wearing them, that's because I won. Thank you to, what was the baby's name? I'm sorry.
Aria.
Thank you to Aria for those headphones.
And thank you to Stephanie's uterus for that. That's what you and Dre Seaman. All of it. All is involved. All of it is involved.
Who would have thought? It's like it's like my guests are wearing Dre's semen on their head.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they want to think about. Make sure that if you're watching this on YouTube, you want to take us in your pocket, go on Spotify, Apple, all those podcast platforms. I think except Amazon Podcasts, we're not on there. But we're everywhere else, okay? And vice versa, if you want to see our beautiful faces, make sure you go on the Great Knows Best YouTube channel where you got podcasts, you got taste tests, you got all kind of crazy things. Peace and love. See you next time.